Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
Oh, all right.
There you go. Got to start off with that all right. He almost
all right,
he tried to
right.
stop saying it. I was like, why are you doing that, man? That's how we start the podcast.
Oh, man.
That's how I know how to cue it up.
I'm just checking us up out of there, make sure we
Make
good.
sure all our volumes, our levels.
Welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence, y'all. Back at you for another great conversation. That's Coach KJ. I'm Doc. And we got some good stuff to talk about today. Yeah. I think everybody will relate to this in some shape or form.
We've been getting these good tie-ins, you know. One
We have.
leads right into the other.
And it was, you saw my post from yesterday, mm-hmm. And that was just kind of, I went in because
sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you got to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to let people know, hey, slow your roll. You know. But thank you guys, first of all, foremost, to all of you who've been hanging with us the last couple years. We're trying to grow this game. We'll keep you posted on how we plan to do it as time goes on.
I'm doing this because
I'm adjusting.
Eyes,
yeah,
because we got some ideas.
We definitely got ideas. And those of you who've been tuning into our lives, that audience is growing. Tell all your friends. Saturdays at 11. Just bring it. We bring the funk. It's relaxed. It's interactive.
We got a lot of comments after this past week.
It's interactive. It's one of those things where I think you guys need to get involved. It's that simple.
We are all about the interaction.
Why am I having so much trouble
I don't know. Anyway, when he get his microphone straight, microphone,
right.
check a microphone.
All right, we're good now.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing all right. I got a question for you though.
Okay. Is it serious as cancer? Who can make the average dancer? Hyper as a heart attack. Nobody's smiling.
No, I was having some conversations today. I'm always having conversations, and I wear many, many hats, as you know. The practice, the foundation, business ventures. I'm always dipping my hands in something, and then people are always calling me for advice on how should I handle this negotiation or that negotiation. And
what's your consulting fee for that?
Depends on who's calling me.
I'm just trying to be clear.
Depends on who's calling me. Depends on who's calling me and what I need to tell them.
Because people feel at ease sometimes.
Yeah, I let people show their true colors when they need to. But one of my pet peeves that just, not really pet peeves, but I guess I'm just built a little different. I hate if I do something for people, right? I don't ask for anything in return, But if I'm doing you a solid, and I'm doing you a solid on multiple fronts, at some point in time, you should always be like, you know what? Just on GP, I'm going to do him a solid without him even asking. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen with people. People don't do that. They take. People are takers. People are natural born takers.
Takers and forgetters.
Yeah. People are natural. People are natural born takers, and when people have the ability to come through, even when it's not needed, but they just say, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway, just because you did me a solid. I got the hookup for you too, whatever that is. To me, that makes sense in my world. If somebody does something for me, the minute I find something that I can do to help them, I just do it. Oh man, you have to do that. Yeah. Like prime example of that. So I'm working on something with the foundation, right? And one of the people that's working on it with me who I'm helping sort of a project that, is dear to her. I was telling her about this book I'm writing. Oh shit, I threw it out there. But I get a text today that says, I just sent this to your office. It should get there soon. She sent me a little Sony voice recorder that plugs into my phone. So she's like, if you don't feel like typing, that plugs into my computer. You don't feel like typing, you just record. So that way it'll just transcribe it for you about your book. Didn't ask for it. Probably don't need it. But it was a nice gesture to do. And just in case, I probably will use it now because I didn't even think of it.
Right.
Kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
People don't do that. People in general don't do that.
No.
And it's not some big extravagant gift. It was just, I think he could probably use this. People don't think past themselves, don't look past themselves. And that shit there is just.
I give you a perfect example of that. And we've talked about this recently. Family property in Texas, the whole shebang, and had to get my mother and aunt and all these people to sign off and, get all these logistics taken care of. So I can get my check.
Right.
Because I'm the heir from my father. My mom, because of last minute, hey, listen, can you do this? Okay. She's like, no problem. I got you, whatever. I went over there today, said, the check came. She said, oh, was it enough? I was like, it was good. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to pick the day that works best for you and Linda. We're going to come pick you up and we're going to take you back to the restaurant that you enjoy so much. She said, for what? I said, for you, because you took care of me and I'm appreciative of that. And this is what I'm going to do for you because this was unexpected income.
Yeah.
So I have it. Why not share it with you in some magnitude?
Yeah.
I want, and take you somewhere that you enjoy. Like this is good.
Yeah.
Just why? Why not? Just because.
People don't think like that, man. People don't do that.
No.
And when I look at the people in my world, a lot of times I am treated better by the people I pay to do things for me than the people who I freely do things for. Does that make sense? They'll go above and beyond because they know I do the same for them. But the people who I just do things for them, it never comes back the other way. Like never. And I'm not doing things to get something in return, but yet it doesn't happen. And you're just like, and I remember everything. I don't forget shit.
Yeah.
I'm just that guy. I'm not going to hold it against you. But when you come ask me for a favor, that's not life or death, or just, you just say, hey, could you do me a solid, introduce me to somebody? I'm not fucking with you. Because every time I've done something for you, you just took it and ran. So the one time you need it, now you're going to come ask? Nah, I'm good. And then people think, oh, you're an asshole now.
Right.
Because one time I said no, you feel negates the 1,000 times I said yes.
Nah, I'm good. Do it with a smile.
Yeah, but people don't. People don't know how to take that shit. And so I've just noticed, over the past year, few months, whatever. I'm watching how people act around me. I'm watching how people move. I'm watching how people navigate their life around mine, and I'm just like,
I find that interesting because I think what's happening is your life, I won't say it's slowed down, but you become very particular about certain things that are happening. Like once, you know, you don't have the calls, you know, when that slowed down, when, you know, you start diving into the foundation differently, those things started happening. You had that space to kind of like really, because you probably would have missed it many times, but now it's like, I see it a little bit more. I'm a little more clear on their objective.
Well, I also notice I put in a lot of work. I'm noticing what I'm putting work into for people. I'm putting work into stuff for this person or that person. And the benefit to this person or that person is way higher than the benefit for me. I'm doing it because I know you need this. So I'm going to do this for you. Right. It could not happen and my life is fine. Your life changes if it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, prime example, how can I tell this story without blasting her? Well, anyway, let's just say that if I'm doing something for you and you can't see why it's being done, then maybe I shouldn't be doing it. That's what I'm learning. Because all this shit costs me time. I don't have time. All this shit costs me the one thing I can't get back.
Right.
You know, I squeeze things in the day when I can, you know. We record this podcast all over the fucking place. Why? Because we squeeze it when we can.
Squeeze it when we can.
You know, there ain't no...
You text me earlier, I said,
yeah,
this works and this works.
Yeah, you squeeze it when we can.
Yeah.
And I thought 11 o'clock when you told me 11 o'clock, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I got a 1 o'clock call. That shit ain't gonna work. You know, and I was like...
I figured you were thinking through it, and then I said, you know what? Let me give it an alternative time.
You said 3:30. I was like, that works.
Yes.
You know?
Get your ass in the car.
But yeah, it's things like that. People don't realize the chess pieces you're moving around the board in order to do shit for them.
Yeah.
And because I don't tell them, who wants to hear, oh man, I had to do all this shit for you just so you could have this opportunity? I want to hear that shit.
Nobody wants to hear
that. No one wants to hear that shit. No. Even if it's true, you shouldn't have to tell me. I shouldn't have to tell you.
Knows the troubles I've seen.
Because if you're going to complain about doing something, if you're going to complain to me about doing something for me, then don't fucking do it.
Don't do it.
But that's how I am.
Yeah.
Other people, if I say I'm just not going to do it, then they're all butthurt because then it won't get done. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just like, oh, all right, how do I peel back slowly without smashing in their face? And that slow becomes a sprint. Yeah. At some point in time.
It's just you, and it's not you respecting it. It's you respecting your own boundaries.
Yeah.
Your own limitations, your own time, and how time's going to be of benefit to you.
Well, and then it's also just how people aren't as disciplined.
Right.
I'm very disciplined with my time, my space, my energy, and a lot of people aren't. Mm-hmm. You know, and they don't know how to navigate their own fucking life.
Think about how I told you how to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Just that little bit.
Dude,
you're like,
oh, save me 15 minutes.
He's like, oh my God, I'll switch to Geico.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. In my brain, I'm like, done. Now, even if it saved me 5 minutes, it's less of a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Than the route I was taking. You know, and it's little things like that. You're like, all right, cool. Now I'm at ease when I'm driving because I know I'm going to get there. Yeah. You know, but
also that's the way I think about, say, for instance, that person getting there. You coming to see me, I'm trying to make your life as easy as possible. I want your situation to be better leaving than when you walked in the door. So if I got to make it easier for you to get there, to have that space to be able to say, okay, we can work now because I feel better. I'm not mad from being in this traffic.
I'm not walking in the gym like this.
Yeah. No. Who wants to do that? It's already going to be, I need you to go like this after I got through beating you up.
Crushing your spirit. I need to be the source of that. not the person to alleviate that.
Right.
For real.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
man, I think just I wish people just got it, and people don't get it.
No.
You know, people don't get how to be more disciplined. People don't understand how to be less selfish. And I think we've talked about this on many occasions, and it's going to lead us into our topic today. You know, I was having this conversation with somebody last week, and it was one of those things where, and you and I talked about it, where we used to always say there can only be one.
Right.
You know, and we've talked about many times on podcasts and on the lives about, you know, opening the door, but putting a stopper in the door so it doesn't close behind you. Mm-hmm. You know, and people are so selfish. When you're a taker, you don't know how to utilize what you've taken and then giving to make sure that it can all grow. People don't understand people don't know how to do that shit because they're like, whew. So our topic is today, you know, like crabs in a barrel, or how people don't like to see others succeed, or how people think, I got mine, you better figure out how to get yours. Mm-hmm. Here's an example of that. And people may not like us for pointing this out. Look at immigration. It is so wild how some people who came to this country and stayed illegally, meaning they either crossed the border illegally somewhere, they came through on a visa and overstayed their visa, and then at some point in time, they ended up getting their green card. Or they struggled to get here, and then they finally got there. But were an illegal immigrant at some point in time. It's always interesting to hear those people turn around and be like, close the border, you know, or I got mine, you should go through it the right way. And I'm like, but did you initially start by going through the right way? How far back you want to go? Did anybody come here and go through it the right way?
Right.
You know, and so what is the right way? The right way is, now that you're here, I'm trying to figure out how to become a citizen. How do I do that? It's not like they get here and they're like, I'm going to run for the hills. They run for the hills because they're afraid of getting sent back to the shitty place they came from.
Yeah.
Or should I say the shitty situation they came from, not the place.
And
their lifestyle, whatever forced them to risk their life to come here. I get that there needs to be checks and balances, but don't be that person that finally gets the nod and then say, close the door. I want the door to close behind me.
I don't want any more. I don't want them to have what I have, what I've created for myself. I have the same, and that you, like you said, hate to talk about this, but relatively close experiences with people, some people from the civil rights era.
Yeah.
Just the energy, you're trying to have a moment, or you're trying to be amongst this greatness, that what they've experienced, what they went through, and what they've shared, what they can share about the culture and the transition in the culture and what they've done and how they've been able to make it post. But yet, they're not there. I got it. You figure it out.
Well, and here's the crazy part. We can talk about this because it is so prevalent in the black community.
Yeah.
And let's look at nepotism. Or, you know, I got mine, I'm going to help you too now. Let's go. You look in the Jewish community, you look in the Hispanic community, you look at the white community, you look at, you know, the Asian community. Everybody, they kind of like, all right, I want more of this to look like me. Mm-hmm. It is so funny, and you see it all the time in corporations. You see it in healthcare. You see it everywhere, that I got here, I want to be the token in the office. I want to be the only one in this organization. You know, there's a comedian that makes this joke about how he went to a resort and him and his girl were the only black people at the resort. And they're like, all right, cool. As soon as they saw another black face, they're like, oh, I ain't the only one here. Like, it's almost like something's changed. We as black people have a way of thinking something's not as special if more than one of us has access. Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's a shit way of thinking. And some of us do it without even knowing we're doing that.
Yeah. I remember I used to go to, early 2000s strength and conditioning seminars. I go in and it could be a room of 150, 200 people. I'm the only brother in the room.
Yeah.
So I'm everybody's friend. Everybody,
how'd he get here?
And then also my energy and everything. So everybody wants to hang out with me. Everybody wants to be with me. It's like, it's so funny how the dynamic is because I'm easy going. And I have a voice. But then the later 2000s, there was a couple other brothers in the room. Then you get them coming up to me because I'm going to the same seminars. They're like, oh, man, I thought I was going to be the only brother in the room. I said, well, I'm happy you're here. Now I'm not by myself. But they're like, I'm like, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I always tell people, I'm happy to be the first. It's not cool to be the only. Been the only many times.
Yeah.
Been the first many times. But that being said, once you've figured out the cheat code, do you keep the cheat code to yourself? Because you've already used the cheat code to get in. The cheat code doesn't work elsewhere.
Right.
Not for this particular door. Mm-hmm. So why not give the next cat the cheat code to the door so that way the both of you can win? But people don't think like that. People are like, nah, I'm gonna introduce you. Hey, bro, you're in the game already. Prime example, young up and coming trainer was like, man, what classes should I take? What should I do to get better at this game? And you work out at, what gym do you work out at? How can I start training people at that gym? Whatever. What do you do? Like, nah, man, you just work hard. You'll be fine. They won't say no, but it's like, is it considered training your competition? If that were the case, I would never train another med student or a resident to be a doctor. I know a surgeon who outright stopped working with trainees because he's like, I'm tired of training my competition.
Wow.
And I was just like, I thought to myself, I was like, well, that's fucking insane because you've been in the game for 25 years.
So you're not going to bring up a new generation?
So if you don't train your quote unquote competition, when your shit is all fucked up, who's gonna take care of you? I'd rather train the dude that's gonna take care of me because I know they're gonna do it right.
And wouldn't you want to have your thumbprint on a generation that's coming up? Say, man, I
trained all of them.
Yeah, and all of them go like this. Oh, he trained me. This is the reason why I have the success I have.
The person who trained me has a lineage of surgeons that we're all like, he's the grandfather. Right. We all come from that line of Akbarnia. And, you were an Akbarnia fellow.
Okay.
One of those kind of things because he was, a big name in medicine. And so, and continues to be. But you look at other people like, I don't want to train you to do what I do. I'm going to withhold some stuff so you won't be as good as me.
That
don't make no sense. That makes no sense.
That don't be making no sense.
No, it doesn't. It's just
all the impropers.
But you see it everywhere.
It's in the barrel, bro. They they have it. They just pulling others down. I just don't get it.
And it's like if I bring you in and you do great, you know what that makes me look like? That makes me look like the kingmaker.
Right. And if you're better than me,
Yeah.
great. Now, when you take that and develop somebody else.
And when I've had enough and it's time to fucking hand over the crown, I want to know that it's going to be on a head that can wear it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm a king, but fuck yeah.
But we do come from a generation, each one teach one. We heard that repetitively.
Yes.
Repetitively growing up.
And here's the sad part, man, and I'm just going to be a pessimist right now.
Is it?
We heard our whole entire life, each one teach one. But it's been that way, yeah. Each one teach one, but you practice somewhere else.
Right.
I'm going to teach you a little. I'm not going to teach you everything.
Yeah.
Because I still want you to need me. I still want people to need me instead of needing us.
Yeah.
And it's just, if I have a skill you can learn, prime example. Your mama teaches you how to cook, right? Mm-hmm. She can give you the recipe all day. She can give you every single ingredient. Somehow it doesn't ever taste quite like hers. And it's the intangible that she can't teach you. It's just you learn that over time.
And you find your own level
Correct. And so when I'm teaching young doctors, I can write down every step I do in the operating room, but there's the little something else that I can't explain that you just pick up with experience. And that's just how it is. So the people that are worried about, oh, they're going to take my job one day if they come in and do a better job, then you need to step your game up. Because now that you have the job, because you tell them, hey, you should hire somebody else as well, it's not taking anything from you unless the person you said does a shitty job. So it's up to you to make sure they're great. So that way you just look better. So now you have everybody's ear because you now have shown, oh, I have good decision-making skills. Oh, I can be a good leader. Oh, I can do all these things. But if you're always holding people down so you continue to look the same, then you're stupid. If you pull people up, you only climb higher because you're pulling them up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why I think one of the main reasons most trainers, not just clients, but most trainers call me coach, because it's not what I do as a trainer, it's what I offer them as trainers to become better coaches. You know, like one girl came to me and said, oh, you know, I'm not getting the business. I'm not developing. I said, well, what are you doing differently? You're telling me what you're not getting, but what are you doing? What are you doing differently? And then we go down this rabbit hole. Said, well, one, stop reading so many training books. You know how to train. You enjoy training. Look at the business aspect. For every training book you get 2 business books. Or find a business course. Find something else. And as we're going down this thing, she's like, wow, I just got a lesson in life, not in coaching or in training. I got a lesson in life. Like I need to be bigger than just this experience of training.
Well, what people need to learn too, in life in general, y'all, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta stop always training for life and actually putting what you learn to practice. Stop being a forever student. And I think people who are they're always taking a course, they're always doing this, they're always doing that, and they're not putting what they're learning to use, is they're afraid of the real world. They're afraid of failing, because then they're gonna think, I did all of this education and none of this shit's working. Well, you don't know if your education works unless you put it to practical use. It's that simple. You can read all the books you want. 90% of running a business is common sense. 10% you'll find a book. And all these self-help books, all these books on how to run a business and all that shit, I'm going to tell you, some of the most successful businessmen didn't go to school.
Right.
I'm going to say that again. How do they learn how to do business? And I told this to somebody today. The best thing to know in business is having a relationship with people. If you know how to talk to people, you know how to read people, you know how to understand people's little nuances, pay attention to the things they're not telling you. They're trying to sell you something. They're trying to negotiate a deal with you, whatever it may be. Pay attention to what their body language is. These are all just people skills. Yeah. You know, you're trying to date somebody. That's a business transaction. In your mind, you're trying to date somebody. Pay attention to not what they're telling you. Pay attention to what they're doing while they're telling you.
Yeah.
Because that says everything you need to know about them in business as well. If I'm trying to negotiate a deal with you and I'm saying this is what I want, and you kind of, I know right then and there, you don't like what I just said. Right. No matter if you say, well, yeah, you know, that looks like it might be okay. I know immediately
that's not working.
That's not working. And I'm going to take a pause, let you marinate on it for a second. Some people will be too quick to be like, oh, well, maybe we should do. Let it rest. Because then they're going to think, well, you're eager, I got you. Once you show me signs of desperation, I got you.
Yeah.
You know, and teaching those skills, it's hard. You just got to practice it.
Yeah.
And you get, the more you see it, the more you fall on your face, the more you're going to understand it. But also being that person that will help pick them up and say, okay, here's what you did wrong. Now, the next time you do this, here's how you'll be better at it. And I always tell people, I don't mind teaching, and I don't mind showing doctors how to do what I do, because no matter how long you've been doing this, I've been doing it longer. So as you're growing, I'm learning more as well.
Right.
So you will never catch up to me. So why would I think I'm in competition with you? You're never in competition with me, and that's the problem. Everybody feels that they're in competition with somebody.
The only person you're in competition with is yourself.
It's me.
That's it. That's it.
I'm not competing with you.
Your growth, your prosperity, everything that comes is based off of what you do for you.
If you're better at something than me, then cool.
That's what you do. That's how you do it.
But you see it all the time. It's always about this one-upmanship, you know? I hate having conversations. This is what I was saying in my post yesterday. I hate having conversations with people, and I may say, man, I had this patient that had this, and their back was this, that, and the other, and you bust out, dude, my back was hurting like a 10 out of 10 yesterday. I could barely move. I stretched it out, and now I'm doing fine. I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you a thing about your back. You know, I'm just telling you a scenario that happened. Or, you know, I say, you know, I told somebody they should ice their back, whatever, and you tell me, well, dude, I sat in my cold plunge for like 4 minutes. Okay. You know, but
I know.
It's little things like that. And I say, you know what? This patient of mine told me now after surgery they can now go to the gym and they can walk on the treadmill for an hour. Yeah, you know, well, a couple weeks ago I hurt my back, and you know, and I still, even with my back hurt, I still decided to get on the treadmill on an incline at this number, and I ran for this much. It's like you're almost trying to, you just can't take the story and say, well, you know, how did they do? Are they okay?
Yeah.
You got to one-up it. And to me, who are you competing with? Why are you trying, number one, why are you trying to impress me? I don't give a fuck. I've learned at 51, man, I don't give a fuck.
And the older you get, the more non-fucks given.
Yeah.
Boo on you. Yeah, man. No.
Like when you say, you know what? Man, I was thinking about getting, like, for example, when I was like, Coach, I'm thinking about getting this desk. What do you think? That's cool. But I saw this desk that I think is really cool, and I'm going to get this one. What does that mean to anybody?
Right.
There's no competition. There's zero competition here.
Because it's either going to be that or it's going to be, well, why are you going to do that?
Yes. Right?
Why are you going to do that? Oh, well, how much is that? Oh, you think, so now I'm either going to go against you and try to be better than you, or I'm going to try to pull you down.
And where you should be is in the middle saying either That's cool, but did you see this one? This one you might like better. Or, dude, that's just the bomb. You should do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't know how to be happy for other people. People don't know how to congratulate and celebrate each other's triumphs. They would much rather either, shit, I can't beat him. I don't have something to one-up him, so I'm going to try to tear him down.
Think about your car.
Yeah.
The eyes. And that comes from any and every, especially
All of
doctors. Yeah, all of them. You know,
And it happens every car I get. I get a
Every single
comment.
car.
I get a comment from people in my circle, even people who financially are more well off than me. Every time I get a new car or do something wild, they're like, "Oh, nice car. Where'd you get it?" I'm like, "The store, man." Like, why does it matter to you?
how much that one cost you?
Oh, I
It's
know.
like, come on.
They're like, I know that's expensive.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was a gift. I got it for free. I'm sure it cost somebody something. Gave a lot of people jobs. and they look at me crazy when I say shit like
You
that.
should.
Yeah, they look at me crazy when I say shit like that. I'm like, because I don't care. You care more about my shit than I do. Right?
Crabs in the barrel, bro.
Yeah,
Crabs
man.
in the barrel.
People don't know how to congratulate each other.
Right.
And here's the thing. We've talked about jealousy and envy before. Who are some of the biggest haters on each other?
Women.
Dude. The chick at if you're out with the group of, if you're out with the group,
Don't tell nobody.
think about this. A group of dudes are out, right? And you know we're always going to bring it back to this because it's true. A group of guys are out, and there's some ladies there. A dude will be like, the hot girl, I'm going to hit on her. His boys aren't going to be like, well, there's nobody cute now. Let's go home.
That's exactly what they do.
I'm going to tell you, if there's a group, ladies, I'm hipping y'all to game. Okay?
Because he's still in those streets.
I'm going to hip y'all to some game. I'm not in them streets, but we've all been there when we're in our 20s. This doesn't happen when you're grown.
Yeah.
But when you're in the club, whatever it is, back in the day, there's always a guy who's picking up the slack because they know the dude, if he doesn't pick up the slack, the woman in the crowd or in the crew that is the least desirable of the bunch and nobody really is interested, she's going to be the main one trying to fuck up everybody else's night. Because if she's not having a good night, nobody's having a good night. Dudes, if one dude's out there, he's like, I'm not having a good night, be like, I'm going to take this L. I'm out. Y'all have a good night. I'm out.
You know what that reminds me of? That episode of Chappelle Show.
Which one?
When he was going out and he was trying to get at this girl and her girlfriend was there and he said, you want to come over? She was like, maybe. He's like, I got weed. And he said, and then she said, and the girlfriend was like, he's like, I got chicken wings too.
Dude,
She's
I'm
like,
tell you,
oh, cool.
I'm gonna tell you
then.
when we were younger, early 20s, we used to call it Mac and Slack. We did. It's like, dude, you Mac or Slack on this one? All right, man, I'm Slack, and you just basically you distract.
Yeah.
So your boy could at least do what he's gonna do, but it's that
Hack or slack.
yeah, good one, right?
Wow.
Y'all can use it.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother and I used to use that shit all the time. That's what we used to say. We was in these streets in the late 90s, killing LA. Yeah, we did. I mean, I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's
Yeah.
what we did at 21.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, ladies, I'm sorry, you guys hate on each other so much more. And it's sad because as much female empowerment there is out there, and you go, girl, y'all don't want to see each other win. Women are in competition with each other. Men, we're in competition with ourselves.
It's a
A
fact.
man, I will look at a coach and be like, damn, he's got his shit together. I need to get my shit together. How'd you do what you did, man? You know what I mean?
I need to pull it together. I want to pull it together, so I want to know what you did.
I don't want what you have. I want you to tell me how to get my own.
Right. Yeah.
On the other side of the spectrum, a lot of women they hate on the women they feel has something that they don't.
Think about it, even with weight loss now. The first thing that women typically say, "Oh, she's on that Ozempic." She's on.
She got that Ozempic body.
Yeah. All right.
Who's her surgeon? Or who's her surgeon?
And they say it so instantaneously. You're like, wow. What? Why don't you think she went to the gym and worked out? Eat clean.
Beautiful woman walks into a bar, walks into a restaurant. What's the first thing that happens? Oh, look at her.
She thinks she's special.
She thinks she all that.
She thinks.
A dude comes in there dressed to the nines, got swagger about him. You look at me like, oh, that's a cool motherfucker right there. Yeah. Right? You don't say shit. You're like, oh, that's a cool motherfucker right there. Right? That's the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
Men are very easy to congratulate. We may hate secretly, like that motherfucker. Damn, I got to get him. And the first thing is, damn, I got to get mine.
Was that one joke? It says, hey, man, that dude at the end of the bar, all these women just keep running over to him. Like, what's so special about that dude? He said, bartender said, I don't know, man. He just licked his eyebrows and they keep coming over.
Right? But yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy. We are way quicker to congratulate a stranger than women are. But that being said, you will also have those guys that will secretly hate on their boys. If their boy is doing well and they're not, there's that secret jealousy or envy that doesn't come out right. He doesn't try to tear you down. He just ain't gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't fuck with you because he's not in a space where he's securing himself.
Yeah. He'll sideswipe you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of times he does it, and he doesn't even know he's doing it. You know, he's like, yeah. He's doing all right.
We had a dude that we grew up with. I've told you about him, who was the best friend you could have until it came to women and money.
Oh, boy.
And
yeah,
you let a woman come into play, and this is where dudes get. You let a woman come into play. If there's a door opening, this cat would be like, "Why are you dating him? Mm-hmm. You know he ain't shit, right?"
Yeah,
little things like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, "You got a good one."
Yeah, I had a boy just like that too. He wasn't. It wasn't while you were with them. He would wait till it was over, and you were like, he'll try to slide in, and he'll try to go after.
Oh yeah, knowing that's just man law number one. You don't do,
but he did it so many times. I found it was way more years later. Found it was way more than I ever thought. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah. This dude would try to slide in. Wow,
all right,
and be like, and we never used to say anything because like they're telling us, so we know it's not going to happen. Yeah. You don't stand a chance, dude. It's okay though. We see what you're doing. Yeah, But you see that so often with people who just don't want to see you win.
Yeah.
And everybody out there needs to understand that the people who don't want to see you win are usually the people closest to you. Mm-hmm. Strangers, they don't give a shit if you win or not because they don't know you. People that are close to you that aren't doing shit with their lives don't want to see you win.
You know the statement. Keep your friends close,
and your enemies closer.
Your enemies closer. I think it's the opposite way. Because your enemies,
you can keep strangers closer.
Yeah. But
enemies, people who you know hate on you,
yeah,
you keep them close so you can see what they're doing. You can hear what they're doing. Your friends, you have to know what their limits are to your friendship.
Right.
Because they all have them. Mm-hmm. You know where they stand with you. They will never tell you everything about where they stand with you, where you stand with them. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of people will always have that friendship that's not unconditional.
Yeah.
And either they're going to
Has a contingency clause.
either you're going to reach a point. So, for a prime example, everybody says they talk about athletes and how when people get money, they change. Mm-hmm. And I heard somebody say once, "You're damn right, I changed. My address changed. The clothes I wear changed."
Mm-hmm. My wallet.
And ultimately, who I am as a man didn't change. I didn't change because I have money. You changed because I have money. There's a difference.
Huge difference.
I got people I don't speak to anymore because when I had nothing, was struggling to find a meal every day, had my back to no end. I worked hard to get to where I am today. The relationship got a strain on it, and they started treating me differently. I didn't treat them differently. They started treating me different to the point where, hey, you want to go hang out? Nah, I'm good. Because they couldn't be around me because now they felt inferior because I grew
And
they stayed stagnant. Mm-hmm. And now there are people who, I was talking about this the other day, who, as I grew, I helped bring them up. And now they feel some kind of way because I had to help bring them up. Why do you give a shit?
As opposed to being gracious.
If there's a way that I could help, for example, if I could help your business grow and it takes nothing from me, why would I not help your business grow? If my network is bigger than your network and I help and my network having access to it helps your network, why are you going to be mad at me if my network outgrows yours? Because you know, okay, if his network outgrows mine,
right,
that means our network is huge.
Right.
You know, people don't think that way.
No, they don't think
I'm fine as long as
creates net worth.
Right. I'm fine. You're fine with me as long as I need you. You're not fine with me as long as if you need me.
That's
some shit, right?
That's a sad fucking existence.
Yeah, but think about how many people out there live that life.
A lot.
More people than not.
And probably more people that we know that we just don't know that they're living
and not
that
just the have-nots. I know people who have high positions and status in life that have looked at me and been like, oh, there can only be one. Me and you can't be great. And so you do things to try to sabotage or just sow doubt. And when you can't, then you just you accept. But you try at first to sow doubt, and then when you can't, you then try to accept that, okay, I get it. Motherfucker's just good.
This episode's making my skin crawl.
But it's
real though. It is real is what we're dealing with now. It's what we've secretly always dealt with. Didn't realize. You know, when you slow down, put the brakes on your life a little bit, breathe a little bit, you start to see things.
And it's not just in our community, meaning the black community, but it's way prevalent in our community.
Yes. Think about how, like for me, going to the hood, going home, go whatever. Yeah. You drive, got a decent car. Who's that? Who's that? Well, looking at you. Not looking at you. What they say? He eyeballing you.
Why he eyeballing you? Yeah. And people always like, well, why you get rich and move from the hood? Because if I stay in the hood, you're going to try to take what I got. That's just, instead of letting me help you get it yourself, you're going to take from me. And that's always the fear. It's like, I don't want to stay here because it's not appreciated with me being here. Oh, you just want to move to the white neighborhood, the white folks. No, that's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. It's more so because people don't know how to be happy for other people's success.
Yeah. Think about all the theft, especially in L.A. I know it's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
The reason why this theft to the level it exists is because you have something that I want, but I'm not willing to go get it. I need to take it from you because you got it.
I'm not going to ask you, what did you do to get this? I'm just going to take yours.
Yeah. Like that, they had that recording. Guy taking a 300-pound safe, trying to get it in the car. Are you serious? 9 o'clock in the morning.
Dumb.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Dumb.
And it's happening left and right like this.
And people don't want to, as simple as like cheating on an exam. Think about it. Instead of before the test saying, hey, I'm not understanding this. Can you help me so I can get an A too? No, I'm just going to take your answers and get an A as well. Mm-hmm. And I hate you for being smart. I've seen that.
Oh, absolutely.
You see it in kids. Instead of why do you think straight A students get bullied? I remember when my niece was little, she did a spelling test, the spelling bee, and she missed one of the words. And my sister was like, why'd you get a B? Why'd you miss the word? Whatever. She's like, you know how to spell this. My niece was like, because if I didn't miss any, then people would basically pick on me for it. I didn't want people picking on me for being too smart.
Wow.
That's wild, right?
That sucks.
Yeah. But think about it now. It still goes on in schools today. Yeah. Instead of saying, you know what? I'm happy that you're smart. I got to buckle down and learn my shit.
How old was she then?
This was elementary school.
Okay. So she's like 11, 10, 11.
7,
12.
8, somewhere in there. Young.
Yeah. Okay. So when those behaviors start to change a little bit, when they start claiming their own identity.
Yeah. And it's just, it's one of those things where I was shocked. I was like,
yeah,
I don't even know what to say to that. And finally, it was just, don't dumb yourself down so other people feel smart.
Right.
If your intelligence makes other people feel dumb, then they need to get smarter so they don't feel dumb. You don't need to look dumb to make them feel smart.
Yeah, that's not on you. That's on them.
I won't try to make you feel dumb, but because I know something and you don't, if you feel dumb, that's your own fault. Because you could get educated just like me. There's shit that you know that I don't. I don't feel dumb because you know something more than me. I'm just like, all right, I just accept the fact that I don't know that. And if it's something I feel I need to learn, I go fucking learn it.
Isn't that crazy, though, that to think that crabs in a barrel, to think these creatures, no brain really, literally reach up, say, nope.
I'm going to try to get out now, and the next one pulls down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's it. None of us are getting out. If I can't get out, none of us are getting out.
Yeah.
Instead of, let me go here, hold you, and then the next person climb out on.
Yeah. No. Like we keep pulling.
You know who does that shit well? Ants.
Yes. Yes. They will file out. If you step on, they'll file out and file right back together. They will climb on top of each other to get. I mean, only other people are zombies.
I mean, think about it like this too, man. Think about it like this too in sports.
Yeah.
Where if there's somebody on the team who's getting all the accolades and you see teammates get jealous, like football, you see teammates get jealous and they would rather lose a game than to see that guy do better.
Oh, absolutely.
And they don't realize if I protect this quarterback more, yeah, he's going to throw for 400 yards and it's going to give him the cover of Sports Illustrated, but he only did that because of me. Cool. Your team won. You're not him. It's okay.
Which means you get the bonus as well.
The better he does, the better all of you do. So if you elevate him, he elevates the team. But people don't see that. People say, if I make him look too good, I'd rather hold him down so that way we can all be on the same equal playing field. That's the dumbest shit ever.
I mean, think about the last year when the Lakers lost that when the Shaq and Kobe.
Because there can only be one king. Mm-hmm. And you heard the interview with Kobe. Kobe's like, they're like, if Shaq would have stayed,
we would just.
He's like, I'd had 10 rings. Yeah. And he's right.
Yeah. And his grief with him was he didn't stay in shape.
He didn't work.
He didn't want to work.
He didn't want to put in the work. And that was Kobe's like, you don't want to put in the work. I can't work with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're the most dominant player in the game. Why don't you want to work?
because he's the most dominant player in the game without putting in work. Right. So imagine if he did.
Right. He wouldn't even tell his weight that last year he was there.
Yeah. It's like, anyway, man, we could go on forever talking about crabs in a barrel. And it's such an important concept, y'all. You're not in competition with me. You're not in competition with Coach. You're not even in competition with your family or your friends. Life is not about competing unless you're in a sport. Life is about being in a competition with yourself. Every day you should strive to be better than you are. That's the competition, not the person sitting next to you. You should try to uplift that person, and so that way everybody does well.
And also be appreciative of where you are and who you are, so you can strive to be better at who you are.
Amen. Man, Coach, great episode, man. Where they gonna find you, dude?
They're gonna find me at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com.
And you're gonna find me at Lionel Hunt on IG. You'll find me at HuntSpine.com. Check us both out on SOE_podcast.
Correct.
And also podcastsoe.com.
Wow.
Everything Coach and Doc.
Yes.
Look for us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Woo. All of it.
Do all of it. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends.
Jump in on Saturdays. Get an earful.
Saturdays at 11 o'clock, man. We are definitely
When we there.
most weeks we're there. But on that note, man, we out.
We out.